Hello, Michael Zlapsky here, and I posted this little thing. Whee! And it got a lot more interest than I was expecting, so people are asking how to do it. Let me show you. This tutorial is inspired by Dominic Ruckley's tutorial here on building a spline relax solver Cinema 4D scene nodes using 2023.2 a while back. And the basic premise is you take your initial spline, you resample it by a certain amount, then you relax those points out a bit, and then you resample again. That's the basic technique. He did some stuff that's a little more complex than what we're going to do, but a lot of this stuff here can be simplified with the changes made to scene nodes in 2024.2. I have built it as a geometry modifier, so every spline you put under here, it'll go. Have controls over how big the squiggles are and how fast they squiggle out from each other. This number always has to be larger than that number. I'll show you why here in a second. There you go. You just hit, there you go. Let's make it 6 and make this 6.2. And we'll see that the size is now bigger. So let's see the technique in action. Blank Cinema 4D scene, Shift C, we'll add a nodes spline here. And that's what we're going to build everything off of. Let's just name it Squiggly Boy. And I'll switch into our nodes interface here. And when we select this object, we'll see, hey, we got nothing going on here. So let's hit C, and we'll get a text spline, geospline text there, and we'll feed that into our scene. So there we go. We'll do a nice big chunky font. Let's do a nice big chunky font like Nexa Black here, and we'll center it. There we go. And we'll make it say something more interesting like curvy. There we go. Curvy there. And then we'll get the brand new resample spline node. Definitely check out Chris Schmidt, Rocket Lasso's latest video on what's new in Cinema 4D to find out what the resample spline thing does. But you see here, to move to step, and we crank this up, you'll see that we're kind of losing the count because it's resampling a spline every 50 centimeters here. So it's the higher number you make that, the fewer points are going to be on your spline. But we're going to be using this to our advantage here in a minute. So anyway, that's what it does. But we're going to want to do this inside of the memory node because the memory node takes something, does something to it, and spits it out. And we're going to have it doing it over and over. Now, the memory node, we need to say this is a geometry object, and we'll just feed spline in there. And we could rename this actually spline to make it kind of, more clear what's going on for some other one down the line. And we can even name this something like frame feedback or recursion, whatever you're going to say. But you can name your nodes, kind of help you see what's going on. And we'll cut this out because we're going to be putting it inside here in the frame feedback, and we'll just feed this memory spline in there. And we'll double click to go into memory node, and we'll paste the resample spline. And once we reconnect that to our spline and out, we've got our text back out here. And you'll see if I hit play now, it just kind of goes slowly softer because it is resampling at this step size every frame. It just resamples, so it kind of just gets, not very exciting, but it is doing something. Back to frame 0. And then we're going to want to relax those points. So we've got this thing here. Now I can't just feed that into there, and it needs a little more like discussion going on. And so we need to get the points. Get geometry property, get points right there. Exactly what we're looking for. We can just feed this into that. We can clear out this name because we don't want it to be specifically messing with. And we'll have a new output of name. We're going to need that later. And then we want to set geometry property set the points. This is an array mode, and we'll feed the same geometry into that. And we want this name here to be exposed. Show that in the node editor. And we will feed that name right into there. And you know what? That array and that topology. So those are all being fed in there. So it's getting them, and then it's going to be setting them. And then we'll feed that out here. So we've done, honestly, we've currently done really nothing. I've still just got that resample happening just slowly over time. And see, let's resample is every 5. So now we're going to say, hey, instead of just taking that same bunch of stuff, we're going to take that array, automatically change that to be an array, and we're going to point that out. So now we're going to be relaxing, and let's see, if this is 5, this needs to be just a little bit more than that. So we'll say 5.1, for example. And you see already, I wasn't on frame 0, so it's already starting to do stuff. So if I hit play, you'll see it's starting to go. And that's pretty much all there is to it. If you wanted to go faster, make this, a bit of a bigger number, 5.2. I'll go faster if I make this like, say something like, I'll go back to frame 0, something like 6. It already, you can see it just immediately starts exploding, and it will get slower and slower as it pushes out further. So if you don't have your playhead at frame 0 and you start messing with stuff like this, it can get a little bit crazy because it's having to calculate all the frames before up to that point. So let's put this back on like 5.3 and we'll have it grow nicely. Now I should say, you can actually make this a different size as well. So let's make this 7, and then we need to make this relax points like 7 point something, 7.3. And you'll see it makes kind of a bigger curvy shapes because it's resampling, along a longer distance. Back to the beginning there, and let's, let's put this back. Let's try something bigger, like 10, and then we'll make this 10.1. We'll have a look-see at that. So yeah, so that's basically all there is to this technique. Let's make that a few more frames on our timeline there. And we'll make this go a little faster, 10.2. So that's basically it for the technique. The really great thing about scene nodes is that they allow technical artists to make powerful setups that are simple and easy to use as native tools. So I built into a nodes modifier. So whatever spline I put this on, if I hit play, you'll see it starts working on it. So you can put a logo or name or whatever in here. And as a technical artist, I've built this nodes modifier and can hand it off to any other Cinema 4D artist, and they can just use this with their controls right here, exposed, and you can just put whatever you want in there, and you can make really cool stuff happen.